3 days ago, this came over our VHF radio. Before I tell you what happened, I want you to hear exactly what I heard.
Fun.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee with Sandy. I'm here today to speak to you about something a little bit solemn actually. So it wasn't actually the video I planned to make this week, but it's a video that I need to make. So look, after the last few days there's been a tragic incident not that far from us, just near, in Croatia obviously, just near Split, where a skipper went overboard. So I sit there here filming this, and it's now 3 days later and we're still hearing every hour or so the pan call. So the emergency distress call asking all other sailors in the area to be on the lookout.
Fun. This is Split Radio. Emergency message number 6. Listen on VHF channels 07, 21, 23, 28, 81 and 84. Split Radio transmitting emergency message number 06, issued by Maritime Rescue Coordination Center Rijeka on 26th of July at 10:03 UTC. Man overboard in position 43 degrees 17.8 minutes north, 016 degrees 12.8 minutes east. Search and rescue operation in progress. Keep sharp lookout and report to MRCC Rijeka via Split Radio. Fun.
I don't want to talk about the details of this incident or what happened because I don't really want to speculate at this stage, because obviously there's an investigation pending. You know, someone's life has been tragically lost. He was a professional skipper on a catamaran, and there was 6 people on board, and they are all safe and have been returned to shore. Instead, I just want to talk about what the stories like this does to people like us that are travelling around the world. So when you watch those sailing videos online, it's easy to think about the lifestyles, the sunsets, and I've talked to you about that before, you know, the dolphins that we see, or, you know, the crystal clear anchorages that we sit in, and today's no exception. Don't get me wrong, those moments are really, they do exist, and I've talked to you about that before. And that's really why we choose this life. But there's another side to this life. You know, the sea is beautiful. It is really generous. But it's also incredibly powerful. And it's times like this that we really do need to sit back and think and take stock around why we're doing this and what sort of precautions we take. So it doesn't really matter how experienced you are. It doesn't matter how many miles you've sailed. You know, the sea, it demands respect every single day. Scott and I have now sailed around the world, 14,000 nautical miles around the world, so we're about a third of the way through. And sometimes people assume that we are confident all the time. The truth is, I'm still a little apprehensive about passages, still worry about the forecast, and in fact, every morning we look at the forecast and, you know, probably 3 or 4, 5, 7 times a day, we continue to look at the forecast. We breathe a sigh of relief when we anchor, or, you know, we finish mid-mooring and everything's set properly and we know we're safe and secure. And honestly, I never hope I lose that feeling, because I think it's really healthy to be a bit nervous and to respect our safety. When I've heard this story, I found myself looking across at Scott and thinking, could have been us. There's been times that we've made stupid mistakes. And it's not just one little mistake that you make. It's often a series of small mistakes or small challenges that you have along the way that incur that one great big mistake. Because sometimes life can change in a second. And I have a safety background, so I well and truly know that. But when you're on the helm, when there's something happening, sometimes you really got to catch yourself and say, just take a moment, think about the challenge and think about what you need to do. I recall the time on the Red Sea where I woke up and I could smell petrol, and it was midnight. And we were in the middle of the Red Sea at this stage. Scotty was on shift, and I was due to take over. When I came up, we had a look, and we'd lost 4 jerry cans, over one side, and the other ones on the port side had fallen over, and they were hanging on, but they had tipped over onto the deck. Now, it would have been easy to send Scott up there, put a harness on, we already had life jackets on, but we made the decision that the sea state at that stage was just too rough, and we would wait until the morning, and if we lost those cans, well, we lost those cans and we'll just have to sail the rest of the way. And there's some of the decisions that you have to make. Now, if we hadn't have made that decision and he had gone out that night, maybe we'd be sitting here talking about him. So sometimes living on a boat, it's taught me that small decisions matter. Some of the bravest decisions aren't actually pushing on, or sometimes it's actually just waiting. Sometimes it's saying, I don't feel good today. I think we just need to stay in place. So there's always another anchorage. There's always another day. Sometimes we catch ourselves saying we'll fix it tomorrow. And, the ocean's always there. So it's not like we're going to miss out. So we make really good decisions, but I think you can't just be resting on your laurels all the time and saying, well, we make good decisions. It's about reminding ourselves all the time that each decision that we do make could have a lifelong consequence. So this lifestyle gives us incredible freedom, and we watch those sunsets, and tonight I can't wait to watch that sunset because it is beautiful and stunning. We swim in these amazing places, and I'm looking out at the moment at our amazing little swimming pool and rock wall, and let me share that with you because it's just simply stunning. But that can always be taken away in a heartbeat. So my call to action is, if you are making a decision on a boat and it is a split-second decision, I ask you just to take a deep breath and really think about what you're about to do. When we had tenacity, we had a saying, and I think that slipped a little bit, if I'm really honest, is that slow is steady and smooth is fast. It just means that if you take a little bit more time, you can actually save yourself time. So sometimes we make a fast decision and we do something that's actually the wrong decision, and it takes us, it might take us 10 times longer to reset or, reverse that decision. So sometimes we actually just need to take that deep breath and make sure that we're making the right decision. And if there is risk to life, that we actually just stop and, take stock and make the right decision and hopefully keep everyone safe. So my heart goes out to that poor skipper and his family, and obviously the people that were on that charter. I really do hope that they find him and his family can be put at ease. And as I said, it's 3 days later at the moment, and he still hasn't been found. So I wish him and his family all the best, and hope that this tragedy, we don't hear about any more tragedies. There's been quite a few in the boating community, and quite a few that we've heard. Only in Croatia a couple of weeks ago, 2 boats collided and a couple of people died on that as well, in the same location just outside of Split. So really good timely reminders. So sorry to put a dampener on things today. We are really enjoying our time out here, but it's a good reminder that we're not here for a long time, but let's try and make it a little bit longer and as good as we can. So thank you for joining me today with Coffee with Sandy, and I'll see you in a fortnight's time. If you like this, please feel free to subscribe, share it with your friends, and even give me a bit of a thumbs up just so I know that you are watching. Take care. Thank you so much. See you again in a fortnight's time.